Cheers.
So a little birdie,
you have to have a drink,
told us that you're thinking about moving to Portland. Well, we have information as to whether you should rent or buy when you get here. So stick around.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of That PDX Life. We are your hosts, Tara Stone
and Tamara Stone.
You guys, we are going to talk about the real deal rent versus buy. A lot of people are asking us about this. We have a bunch of clients actually right now, first-time home buyers who are current renters who are ready to take the next big step. And we're going to show you why the time might be right for you.
Yeah, if you're thinking about moving here, we have a lot of people who we help relocate, whether you want to rent or buy. We definitely can help you on the buy side, but we're going to give you some information as to why it might be the best idea for you.
Tam and I are actually really excited to talk about this. Home buying is really an amazing kind of opportunity. And I think right now is a really good time to consider that. There is not as much competition. The rates are doing whatever the rates are doing.
Yeah. But
it's a really kind of amazing time to do that. And we're going to talk about appreciation and all of those other things. So what do you want to talk about first, Tam? The rent?
Yeah. So let's talk about, according to Zillow, today's data shows right here on the screen, for a 3-bedroom right here, house is $26.95. But look at this range. It can range from $1,795 to $7,500 per month.
And in Portland, I don't think we're necessarily seeing the $7,500, but we are seeing upwards of $3,500 and things like that, obviously depending on the neighborhood. So $26.95 is a pretty good middle of the road price. So we wanted to work with that today.
So, and we're going to talk in terms of a 5-year duration of renting versus owning. And we talk about that because in general, people usually only stay in their house once they buy it for about 5 years.
Or decide to refinance or something. Something happens. Yep.
So on the screen, you'll see on one side it says renting, the other side is buying. And so according to Zillow, we're taking that number of $26.95, and then we're going to turn it into a number that is the equivalent to 5 years of being in that rental. Not to say that you're going to stay in the same rental for 5 years, but that's the average price.
Something to consider is typically right now we're seeing a rental increase of a price going up. We did not put that into consideration, but it's definitely happening in Portland and probably happening in other markets. We're just estimating 5 years, they never raise your rent. And this is the number. So just to keep that in mind.
And then we'll talk about what that rent might look like in the future. So if you're looking at $26.95 per month over the course of 12 months, in a year, you're going to spend $32,340 on rent alone.
It's a lot of money.
And that's not including what, Tara?
All the utilities, right? So you have to pay your sewer, your water, your power, and all those kinds of things. Yeah. So probably an extra $150 to $300 typically on average.
As well as your landlord holding on to your first, last, and security deposit, which is usually the equivalent to 1 month per each of those amounts in rent. So your first month's rent of $26.95, your last month's rent of $26.95, and a deposit, a security deposit of $26.95. So
and then don't forget about the pets though. That's like
your pet deposit,
$500.
Who knows? You might not even be able to have a pet where you rent because they won't allow it. So, I mean, that's another disadvantage to renting, right? They can tell you how many pets and what size and all the things. So over the course of 5 years, without considering the first, last, security deposit, pet deposits, all of those things, you're looking at $161,700 in rent that you pay to someone else to get wealthy.
I want to do like fire on your money.
Yeah, your money is burning up and you're just throwing it away. You're giving it to somebody else.
I mean, look at that number, 161,000. That's insane to think about.
Insane.
And then you don't have anything to show for it, which is,
nothing to show
it's like doing a car rental only. Yeah, it's a bummer.
That's what do they call it? What do they call it?
Goose egg?
A goose egg.
It's a big old
Anyway,
goose egg. Yeah.
a goose egg. And then that, that's not even considering that in Portland, as of January 1, they will allow, the city of Portland will allow landlords to raise rents up to 14%.
So
So
based
this
on
is,
the 26.95 number, that's an additional $377 per month.
but
So
could be looking at next month. We're in December
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So
And I don't want to bag on renting. I think, in some regards it makes sense for some people. And it's not a terrible thing. And it also allows people to get their credit in shape and save up money for a down payment and all of those things. But it's like, be aware of what those costs actually look like.
Yeah.
Right? Be prepared and start to think about that right now. And there's a lot of millennials that we're helping, single people, married people, all of that. So the opportunity is huge.
And I think too, it will make sense a lot of times for people who are relocating. So
Yeah.
maybe you're kind of shopping the area as to where it is you want to end up. But you have to get into something fast. So you get into a rental because you don't have the time to shop around. And maybe you have a house to sell on the other side before you can buy.
Check out our next video for that.
So, I mean, it would make sense for somebody who's relocating here, who's never lived here before, doesn't know where they want to end up. You don't necessarily just want to buy right off the bat and then end up in a spot where you don't want to be. So you rent and kind of shop around, look around, get to know the city a little bit, come hang out with us, and we take you to all the great places.
Yeah, and we actually help. We have had clients from California and other places. They get set up in an Airbnb somewhere because maybe that's the neighborhood that they're sort of thinking about. And then we can do just neighborhood tours. We don't even have to look at a house necessarily. We can say, hey, have you checked out this coffee shop or this bar or these restaurants or shopping? So you can kind of decide the feel that you want. Do you want it to be urban? Do you want it walkable? Is biking important to you? So all of those things to consider. Tam and I are definitely experts in that. We want to make sure the place that you land, you're going to be totally into, like how far is it from the job that you're going to be going to, all of those things. So we're not bagging on renting.
The median home price is $550,000. But we are talking in terms of if you were to buy a house at $500,000. Stay tuned later because we're going to take you on a tour of a $500,000 house, a house that they're asking $500,000 for. So you get to see what it is that $500,000 will buy you in a part of the Portland metro area. Yeah. So the way that we break this down to do apples to apples is what, Tara?
So we are going to take the $500,000 and we're going to divide it by 1,000. And then we're going to get 500. We wanted to try to figure out basically for every 500, what the cost for repayment or the rent was going to be, or for the purchasing side of it. Basically, your mortgage payment for a $500,000 house is going to be around $3,000.
So yes, it is a little bit more expensive than what we're seeing on the rent side right now. But again, take into consideration that as of January 1, you could see up to an almost $400 increase in what that rent is going to cost you.
If you want something more specific, obviously you can let us know in the comments or send us a message or something like that.
I guess we should give a caveat that $500,000 is based off of how much you borrow.
Yep, I like that. That's easy.
If your loan amount is $500,000, so whatever you purchased it and you put all this down payment, your loan amount is $500,000. It costs about $6 for every $1,000 you borrow. So your mortgage payment would end up being about $300 before all of those additional costs.
And then the times,
sorry, go ahead.
the times 12 is for a year. And then the times 5, just like the slot below, is for 5 years. You're paying a little bit extra, $180,000 over the 5 years versus the $161,000. However, what happens, Tam, when you own a house? What do you get?
It appreciates. So when you pay towards your principal, then it lowers the amount that you owe on the house. And then as time goes on, that house appreciates, which I put away the RMLS, but the appreciation rate, according to RMLS right now, is 8.6%. Over that course of 5 years, if the appreciation rate were to continue to stay at 8.6%, your home would be valued then 5 years later at $543,000.
And you've also paid off $180,000 of the $543,000. So we didn't do the math there, but you can if you'd like to. on your calculator to figure that out.
Yeah, so when you
And you get
add
to
those two
keep,
together,
yeah,
that's your equity and you get to
all
keep
that.
it.
Ooh, ooh. And then you can do like some really cool stuff, right? It's kind of magical, I think, when you can have a house start to work for you in that way. Some people call them little piggy banks. I kind of like I kind of like that, right? You have something that you're working towards. And Tam and I, when we help clients, we aren't just looking at this is a transaction, this is a one-time deal. We want to ask you questions about, hey, in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, what are you seeing for yourself? Are you planning to upsize or downsize or whatever? Because we can help you start to make some of those decisions with this information for in the future and help you to build some wealth. And that's super important to us, the
And
educational
And if
component.
you don't want to become a landlord and have additional properties, you can do other things with that money. You can pull it out and then put it back into your house in terms of renovations. So
Hmm.
maybe you get into something and it's the latest in trends, but 5 years later,
Great
it's not
floors.
anymore.
Yeah.
And so you
Don't
want
do
to,
it.
you want to, or you live in it long enough and you're like, well, I thought I was really going to love this bathroom, but it turns out I hate a pedestal sink. So we're going to do a whole new bathroom.
Those need to go away, I swear. Other people pull out the cash and build garages with ADUs, right? That's an
Income
option.
generating properties. Yeah.
Yeah, you can also pull out the cash, consolidate debt. Sometimes people do it to pay for their kids' college. So there's really no rules on that because the equity is your own.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the point that we are trying to drive home right now. Yeah. So rent versus buy. I mean, I think that we understand both sides, but if you are thinking about moving to Portland, from another place, it's still affordable here. We're going to be more affordable than Seattle or California in a lot of places. So yeah, we would love to help you kind of sort that out and see what makes sense for you.
And we have some local lenders at our disposal who can help determine for you what is going to be affordable for you and what you can qualify for.
All right, up next is a home tour, so stick around
Stick
and
around. We'll
we can't wait
splice
to
that
tour with
in
you.
here. In the meantime, though, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or anything, always like and subscribe, comment below, call, text. We are available in order to help people move to Portland. Okay, guys, thanks for sticking around. We had talked about what you could get for $500,000. So remember that $500,000 is your loan amount, not necessarily the amount of the house that you buy, but this house is listed currently at $500,000. So we wanted to show you what you would get for $500,000. That is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, like we had been talking about in our comparison of renting versus buying. So I'm going to flip this around so you can see potentially what could be yours. Come in the front door into this cute living room. Looks like a wood burning fireplace. It has molded picture molding on the upper portion, 2-piece molding down below, original hardwoods. It opens up with these French doors into what they're using as an office space right now. Nice big windows in here. We are currently in North Portland, so one of my previous stomping grounds. I owned a house in North Portland for several years, and I ran a pizza restaurant for several years out here as well. You're close to Columbia Park, Columbia Pool. You're smack dab between Kenton, which has a Kenton Street Fair, and St. John's, which has the St. John's Farmers Market. So really cool stuff to be able to hang out at. I just stuffed my face with some Slims, which is a nice restaurant bar, kind of a dive, but super good, delicious. I had a salmon burger without a bun, obviously, because I'm gluten-free. Here's bedroom number 1. Really cute. It is warm in here. It's got original moldings, which I love. It does have original windows, so that would be something that eventually you might want to take care of. There's single leaded windows with storm windows over the top. It's kind of a round situation here, so you can go from the living room and kind of do this circle here. They have a nice hutch to give a little bit of extra added storage. Here is bathroom number 1. Can you see these tiles? So cute. It is really adorable in here. see this tub. Nice deep tub. Awesome. It's got a cute little backyard. Sorry, I'm trying to go kind of fast here. We don't want you to have to hang out for too much longer on this and see all this stuff. So the kitchen comes this way also. A little eat-in nook area over there. Turn some lights on so you can see a little bit better. So that takes you back into the living room area. Oh, look, it's got the mailbox drop right there. It's a beautiful front yard. Easy access to the freeway here also. Oh, look at that. There's a little built-in up there. It's got butcher block countertops. Looks like some original cabinetry here. It's got a nice little farm sink, a dishwasher, newer stove oven, built-in microwave. Kind of a bar that they put over there, a little bit of an island that they must have added at some point. Then you have some really nice tile again here, and different hardwoods that come down to, this is a man door out to the side of the house, and then it takes you down to the basement. Let's see what we got down here. Another living space area down here. Oh, this is nice and open. Gosh, it looks like you could almost make this an ADU and rent it out. Washer and dryer are in here, tall ceilings. They're using this as another living space area / workout. It does have egress windows, which is really good. These are newer vinyl windows in here too. Cool, some originality here, which I love. It's an old Portland home, but with some new Portland charm. And when I say that you're in North Portland, I'll tell you that the original OGs of this area call it the North. People who are transplants and kind of newer to the area call it NOPO, short for North Portland. And it's an awesome place to live. I've lived here. You have so many cool amenities. You are close to getting to the airport. You're really close to Vancouver. Look at this giant bathroom. Whoa. So they've done some really creative things for the electrical and water heater. It's a stand-up shower, and you have a sink and everything. Lots of windows in here. It's really light and bright, even though it is a basement. So some pretty creative stuff that they've done with this house. But this place is super, super cute and cozy. It even has a really cute backyard, and you have great walkability here to some amenities and to the park for sure. So this is what $500,000 could potentially get you in Portland, Oregon right now. Well, thank you for sticking through, and I hope that you enjoyed this segment of That PDX Life. And let us know if there's any deep dives that we can do for you that you're interested in us giving you more information about any particular spots in the Portland metro area. We're happy to do that. Like, comment, subscribe, text, call, what have you. We're happy to help in any way that we can, and we love helping people relocate to Portland as well as in and around it. So, thanks again.